Alright, welcome back guys, or welcome if this is your first time here. I'm Vision here with Blind Entertainment, bringing you guys another video. Today I'm going to be going over all the titles and synopses for The Walking Dead World Beyond episodes 1 through 10. Now if The Walking Dead is something you're interested in, don't forget to hit subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon. Don't want to miss any more Walking Dead news from me moving forward. Now let's begin. First up, we got episode 1 titled Brave. Now the synopsis for this episode reads, Iris welcomes an enigmatic ally to their community while Hope questions the visitors' motives. A message upends the sisters' worldview, forcing them to decide between the safety of their home and the uncertainty of the world beyond. Now, going off of this, I'm going to assume the first episode is going to be entirely based on them in the community. This guy shows up. I think it's Silas that they've said it's going to be the new guy that shows up. Them questioning him, and then they probably end up getting a message from their dad, and by the end of it, you got the group leaving the community. That's the way I see it. I think it's just mainly going to be all within the community, and then by the end of it, they're all leaving, heading out into, the world that they are uncertain of. Next, we got episode 2 titled The Blaze of Glory. Now, the synopsis for this episode reads, the group adjusts to the reality of life beyond their community walls. Iris attempts to take charge in spite of Hope's reservations. Felix and Huck tail the teenagers while Felix is forced to confront unwanted memories. Now, this is very interesting. I could see this actually happening between the sisters, them going at trying to figure out the leadership of the group. I just hope that this isn't like, I don't know. This to me sounds again similar to what happened with the 100 in the beginning. I hope this isn't what happens within the group. I feel like this is just conflict where it's not totally needed. I understand it, but at the same time, it's like, just make one of them the leader. You don't need this whole upheaval of them arguing over it. But then you got Huck and Felix. They are probably sent out after the people realize that they're gone, and they're probably going to try and get them to come back. Felix confronting unwanted memories. Okay, I'll take it. As long as it's interesting, I don't care. But if it's like a waste of time where it's just like all this BS, I don't care. I hope it's good. And that's all I really ask for, is as long as it's good stuff, I'm okay. But if it just turns into this boring, lazy stuff, then yeah, I don't care. We got episode 3 titled The Tiger and the Lamb. Now the synopsis for this episode reads, burdened by their pasts, members of the group adapt opposing strategies for dealing with a massive obstacle. Pressure is put on the group to return home. Now, this is very interesting. Now, this is something where I'm kind of back and forth on. Using memories is kind of, to me, something, I don't know. For me, if they use flashbacks, I feel like that's a cheap way of doing it. I don't know. I always say show, don't tell, but at the same time, I feel like memories is just a cheap way of just pushing forward stories. Now, I understand opposing strategies. However, at the same time, just have it, just certain memories just doesn't make sense. Now, I'm going to assume the pressure to return home is on Felix, or is from Felix and Huck, which I'm fine with, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm curious to see what the obstacle is, though. Maybe that could change my mind, but just, I don't know. Memories of stuff is just, I don't know. It just is something I don't care for, honestly, and I just hope these memories isn't something that just is something that the show uses to push story forward, because I think if you do that too much, it's just becomes repetitive and just annoying, at least to me. Next, we got episode 4 titled The Wrong End of a Telescope. Now, the synopsis for this episode reads, the group seeks shelter from a storm inside an abandoned high school. While resupplying, they imagine what high school life was once like and encounter new threats, both living and dead. Now, right off the bat, I'm like, oh God, no. And I still will say no, absolutely not. I hate this idea of them imagining what high school life was like. No, do not do that. And this is one episode I'm already annoyed about. do not do this. It just feels stupid, idiotic, waste of time. Yes, I get there are teenagers that didn't get to do this, but at the same time, don't do this. This is just stupid. Now, I'm interested to see what the new threats are, especially the living ones, because we pretty much can know what the dead ones are. But living, I'm curious to see what they do with the villains for the show. But again, no, no, no on High School Life. No, I hate that idea for The Walking Dead. This is just stupid. Do not do this, and I'm already annoyed for this episode. I know some people might think it's interesting, but just to me, no, absolutely not. This sounds stupid. Don't waste your time on something like this. Next, we got episode 5 titled Madman Across the Water. Now, the synopsis for this episode reads, while a group works together to cross the Mississippi River, a plot to steer the teens back home hits a snag. A member of the group must overcome past trauma to save the others from an approaching threat. Now, first off, I'm going to say this sounds very interesting, them crossing the Mississippi River. I can see this being a full episode of them doing this. Now, I'm imagining with this episode that Felix and Huck have like a secret plan that they're going to use to try to steer the group back home. And I'm assuming somehow the teens do something that kind of causes their plan to not work out. Now, as for past trauma, now I did state before that I don't want to see flashbacks. However, past trauma could be very interesting. As long as this is, again, don't make it this big thing. Keep it something small. Keep it like, I don't know, maybe something happened to someone at a river before. I don't know. That probably sounds stupid, but something like that. Don't be like this huge thing. Because I hate when they over the top do it. As long as it's something that makes sense and isn't over the top, I'll be fine. But again, I'm very interested for this one, and I just hope they don't overdo the whole past trauma thing. Next, we got episode 6 titled Shadow Puppets. Now, a synopsis for this episode reads, when an unexpected newcomer reveals information that could help them reach their destination, the group cuts a deal. While some are intrigued by the newcomer, the new arrival, others are suspicious. Now, this is very interesting. I'm assuming this is probably going to be one of the former threats. Maybe this guy has been following them, and he gives them information. They cut a deal with him, and maybe he's going to join their group for a bit. Now, I like the idea of someone being like this mysterious past. I'm curious to see what goes on here, and I think this could be a very interesting episode. I think that this is definitely an episode that I'm interested in, and I think it's very intriguing and something that could be good for the story. Next, we got episode 7 titled Truth or Dare. Now, the synopsis for this episode reads, while the group searches for something to advance their quest, one of them recalls their struggles in the early days of the apocalypse. A game of Truth or Dare brings emotions to the surface. Now, I like the idea of them looking for something to advance their adventure or journey. That's a good thing. And I like the idea of someone's past struggles, especially in the earlier days of the apocalypse, having an impact on them. I like that idea. And I think that's something that would be interesting to see, especially since it takes place in like 10 years after the apocalypse. So that'd be something very interesting to see. My one biggest thing is, God no, please, with this Truth or Dare stuff. I get it. They're high school age kids, but God no. I was already mad about this high school thing. Now this whole Truth or Dare thing comes in, absolutely not. This, again, while it's apocalypse based with The Walking Dead, this just feels out of place for The Walking Dead. No. Again, this reminds me of some kind of CW BS, so that's why I hate it so much. No, stay away from this stuff. And I'm annoyed. Half of the show I'm very interested in, or at least half of this episode I'm interested in, but the Truth or Dare aspect, no, absolutely not. I think that's stupid, and I already hate the episode for it already. Next up, we got episode 8 titled The Sky is a Graveyard. Now, the synopsis for this episode reads, a horrific discovery finds the group at a crossroads and prompts one of them to revisit past trauma. Now, this is very interesting. I'm curious to see what the discovery is, and what it does in regards to Crossroads. My prediction here in regards to Discovery is I'm going to predict here that they find out something that CRM is keeping a secret from them, and they find out about it, and, it prompts them, to revisit past trauma. Now, I like this idea, but my one con here is that they're talking a lot in these synopses about past trauma. Now, okay, I understand that every character has to have these backgrounds and everything, but I feel like every single episode is some kind of character having to revisit past trauma. So I feel like each character is going to have this, and to me, it seems just lazy. It feels like they wanted to do something with these characters, so let's just give them traumatizing backgrounds. And it's just like, enough of it. I've heard enough of having to deal with past trauma in these synopsises that it's kind of frustrating me, and I don't want to see a whole bunch of background with past trauma. And I get it. Some people might be interested in that. Some people might be intrigued and okay with that. But to me, you don't want to oversaturate it. Don't oversaturate it with every single one of the characters having past trauma. I mean, it's okay if you do some of them, but don't do all of them. If you do that, then it just feels like over the top, and it just becomes annoying, at least for me. Next, we got episode 9, titled The Deepest Cut. Now, the synopsis for this episode reads, a series of setbacks causes a member of the group to reevaluate their place in the mission. Someone makes a surprising discovery, a startling revelation casts everything in a new light. Now, I'm predicting one of the lead members, probably either Iris or Hope, has some questions regarding her role in the mission after possibly they try these ideas and it sets them back, so they kind of feel like maybe they're not worth or not shouldn't be out there on this mission. Now, in regards to this startling discovery, I got two options or opinions here. It could either be the discovery they made in the last episode, or maybe they learned something about one of our group members. Maybe they're like a traitor or something. And that's what causes everything to go crazy, and they see everything in a new light, and they're trying to get them back to the home. I don't know. Something like that. I think that'd be very interesting if like one of our group members who set out was actually like a spy or something. That'd be pretty cool. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. I think it'd definitely be interesting. And I'm very curious to see what they set up, especially with this being the episode before the season finale. Last, we got episode 10, titled In This Life. Now, the synopsis for this episode reads, a divided group struggles to reunite. Others set their sights on the greater good. Now, my prediction here is that either in the last episode our group is split up somehow, or this is just referring to a group members having opposing ideas. Now, I feel like in this episode, it'll set up our group moving forward to whatever destination they're in. I don't think they'll make it there in this season, but I feel like at this moment, our group will end up splitting up. Some will continue on their mission, and others, whether they become the new villains or whatever, either go on their separate ways or return or go off to, plot some kind of revenge or something. I don't know. This is very interesting the way they're ending it like this, but I don't know. I'm very curious to see what this whole season's about. Again, some things I don't like regarding some of the like Truth or Dare stuff, but overall I'm curious but still very weary about the tone of the show. I still believe it's going to be some kind of like CW stuff. I know people have been trying to tell me it's not, but at this point you're probably not going to change my mind. And these titles and synopses kind of confirm it more to me that it's going in that route. But leave your thoughts and opinions about all this stuff in the comment section down below. Yeah, guys, those are my thoughts and opinions regarding the titles and synopsises for the first season of The Walking Dead World Beyond. As always, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and share. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon. That would miss any more Walking Dead news from me moving forward. And you go follow me on Instagram and Twitter, which are linked in the About section on my YouTube channel. As always, it's been Vision here with Blind Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.